Leimomi, Keliikuli intuitive soul alignment coach here, and I'm actually here at the playground in Waimea with my son, and I wanted to just jump on in and just share with you some insights of how you could really, propel your business forward and up level at a much faster pace by actually getting more on media or media opportunities, and how that's going to really make a bigger impact in what you actually want to do in your life and business. So let me just introduce myself. This is my Fame and Fortune Impact Leader daily live stream show here, and every day I just share about any tips, any kind of awakenings that I may have along my journey as I help people get into soul alignment. So sorry about that, there's like an ambulance passing by. So I wanted to share just basically kind of like what happens behind the scenes and how you can actually get much of this, like make a bigger impact by actually getting on, podcasts or guest blogs, and really like looking into how could you make a bigger impact in your business by just, reaching out and sharing your message. So I'm going to actually just show you where I'm at. It's very beautiful. There's my son, and he's climbing and playing with a friend. They just made like a house, and they just like put all of these branches. He's making like ambulance sound. They made like all these branches. I don't know. They picked it up and they said like this is their house, so they're playing in the playground here. And then there's just this whole wood set type of playground. It's pretty windy right now because there was 2 hurricanes passing by, and one of them just became a tropical storm, but then the second one is coming through, so I think it's coming through now. But it's actually, if you look at it, it's like blue skies. Yeah, you wouldn't think like there's any kind of like hurricane happening, but it's kind of funny how we think like things can be a disaster, but actually it's like really good, beautiful miracle. So they're just playing there. They made a good friend. And so yeah, I just wanted to share about how did I get on these kind of like big media opportunities, and specifically I just recently got my first guest blog on the Huffington Post, and if anybody ever is in an online business, they know that being on a Huffington Post is a pretty big deal. It's kind of like, in the online world, it's kind of like the best opportunity to really share your message and have a bigger impact and share with the masses, because a lot of people they actually look at the Huffington Post. So basically, over the past, I think like 2 months, that I was working on just working on in general, trying to get my message out there, which was all about helping people get into soul alignment. And I remember how frustrating it was in the beginning, because I was just going through a whole phase of changing my audience, healing from my story, and figuring out what is a very unique thing that I want to share into the world. And when I was in that process for the past 3 months, it was pretty intense, because I had to really be honest with myself that there were things that I was still afraid of, that I wasn't able, that I wanted to make an impact, and I wanted to get out there, but I was really afraid of, like, well, who's gonna find me, and like whether am I confident enough? Can I write even on a guest blog? Because actually I love just talking. I'm not the best writer, but I love just sharing my message, and I do this every day. I do my live stream every day, so I thought, like, why don't I just reach out and try a new way of helping people. And I've been actually taking this kind of course that helped me in understanding how to get on the big media, which is on TV, on magazines, on guest blogging, getting on podcasts. So actually what I did was I worked on pitching to a bunch of podcasts, and then also I pitched to some guest blogs, and then I also ended up JV partnering with like I think over like 20 people in the online space, and actually it was just happening organically. People asked me, would you like to guest speak for their membership site or for their summit or for anything, and I was like, cool, I'll do it. So it actually just started with me just deciding that I want my message to get out there more, which was just I wanted people to understand what it's like when you are in alignment. And I just wanted people to hear my story. So I really just came from a very pure mind. I didn't have any expectation about it. I just knew that this is just the best way for me to share my message would be if I, got on bigger media. So if you're really thinking about really expanding in your business and you want to actually move faster in your business, the best way is to get on these kind of big medias, because then, but you have to come from a place where you want to share that story, that message, because it has nothing. When I think about like the reasons why we want to be on this, like on TV and be on podcasts and stuff like that, if you really want to make an impact, you have to have a bigger voice. And the bigger your voice is, right, and the more people hear about your message, the more likely they will come and they want to work with you naturally, right? They're going to ask you questions. How can you help me? And what's so cool is because your story is so clearly out there, people just start to like asking you questions, like, and they start reaching out to you. They may PM message you, they may even share like how amazing you are with sharing a story and being out there. And that's really what it's about. That's actually what business is about. It's about becoming very clear on how you can express yourself. And the best expression is really when you are, sorry, the wind is blowing. The best expression is when you have that capability of reaching a bigger audience. And so what I found was when you guest blog or when you talk on podcasts, like imagine like instead of you talking to like 20 people, you end up talking with like thousands of people in just 1 hour. How much more impactful will you be if they just heard your story, right? And the more they hear your story, the more they hear your message, the more you talk about what you do and why you do it, the more likely people will just want to know what you do. So really the key is just be visible, just take that time. I'm telling you, it doesn't take that long to pitch to any kind of media. Maybe the nervousness of actually asking is the hardest part, but the truth is it only takes like probably 20 minutes to write an email and say that, hey, I know you have like this podcast and it's about this, and I like this about your podcast, and I would like to share my message and my story about this one thing, that you're really good at, right? That you have a very good opinion about, that's very different. And then, just the intro, tell who you are. The middle part is just give them some lines of what you could actually talk about. And then at the bottom, do your conclusion, which says, well, if you think any of these ideas are really cool, then I would love to be talking on your podcast, or I would love to be on your guest blog, or I would like to be on your TV show, or whatever it is, right? It's really simple. It's not complicated. I get that question all the time, like, how did you get all of the opportunities? I was like, I just reached out to people, or I connected to people that I felt could be helpful for me in order to reach out to that particular person. But essentially, all it takes is just 20 minutes to ask. And I think like when we feel very stuck in our business, or when we're just so busy, we don't take the time to ask those questions, right? Because as soon as you ask, somebody out there will answer you, right? So, hi Sophia. You know what I'm saying? So I want you to really think clearly. What is your mission? What is your main message that you want to share in the world? Okay. For me, that's soul alignment. I want all humanity to feel what's it like to be in soul alignment and being connected to source. that's all I really care about talking about. So that's what I talk about all the time, all day. So actually yesterday, I like talked on a summit. I talked on another Facebook group that I was a guest speaker for. I finally posted my Huffington post. I pitched to another podcast, and I set up my what was it? I set up like my application process that I needed to do to finish getting on a podcast, because I already got the approval that I can talk on their podcast. So like in that whole day period of time, I pretty much like had this kind of media opportunities like in 5 different audiences. So if one audience has 100 people, right, then you're already talking to 500 people, right? Your message will be much more out there than you writing your blog and maybe like 10 people that looks at your blog. You see what I'm saying? So think bigger. You have to really expand the way you think in terms of your whole life and business, because the more you do that, the more you're visible, the more likely people will reach out to you and really want to work with you. And even though that, you know, these 2 hurricanes are passing by, and you know, I don't know if my internet is going to be good, I still did it because I believe that my words and just speaking is going to help not only me, but it's going to help whoever that I'm touching that wants to hear that message for today. And that's what I love hearing, is I love hearing people say like, wow, that was, you know, thank you so much for sharing that message. And I was just sharing about my life. I was sharing about myself and how profound it was for them to get that confirmation that they needed by just hearing my words. That is what it's about. So the more you give value that way, the more you're going to actually how do I say it? The more you actually have a bigger impact. Making an impact doesn't mean like you have to like talk to billions of people. Making an impact could be just like 2 or 3 people that really like felt your heart and felt your message, and that's it. If you can do that every day, just choose 1 or 2 things that you can do every day that's going to help somebody out there, you know, feeling that connection and feeling that love, then why not? Yeah. So I will share you that behind the scenes story, because it's really simple. I only did this over the past like 3 months, and it keeps coming in. I'm going to be on another podcast with Zach Spuckler. Oh, thank you. He's giving me a flower.
He picked them.
Oh, he picked the flower for me. Thank you. This is beautiful. Look at that.
They have the purple.
Wow.
Oh, they're together.
Thank you.
Byron, what you gotta eat, buddy?
No.
Oh, he doesn't want to go home.
Okay, how much longer do you want to play then, buddy?
Well, anyway, this is so beautiful, right? He gave me a flower.
How old is your
He's
son?
always giving me flowers.
3 3/4.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
So anyway, I just wanted to take that time, even though I'm here with my son when we're playing. But if you have any kind of idea that you just like simply want to share with the world, please go do it. I tell you, I can tell you that one like sentence or that one word that you can share can be very, very powerful. So go and do it. You know, the thing that you're really resisting, go do it right now. Okay? I challenge you to go do that. I dare you to go do that, because that's what it's about. It's about sharing your message, about talking about what you love doing, and that's how you market. You just talk about it, right? The more you show up, the more you be visible, the more likely you'll bring the abundance, and that's how it actually happens. So I have to tell you, actually, after I did that 5 things, right? I pitched, and I got on another person's podcast, and then I wrote my Huffington Post and all of that. I actually had a new client that was ready for me, and she's going to do my 10K program. So you see, like, the action that you think that you need to do, that's an aligned action, and you think really much more expanded, you can bring in the right person, and the right person is just going to be ready, and they're going to pay you that 10K, right? So think bigger, expand your mind, think bigger. What is the action that I need to take today that's going to allow me to bring in that abundance? And you have to be able to receive it, but you also have to be able to think at a bigger scale and give that value, and you never know. I'm really, really glad, you know, I really, really am grateful for that, because that was absolute proof from source that you can have anything as long as you know, have a big heart. And all I did was I had a big heart. I shared my heart in the media, shared my message, and then there you go. It happens, right? All right, anyway, you guys don't have an amazing day. I just wanted to stop and just let you know some kind of insights about that, and kind of push you to go and do it. All right, all my love. Aloha.